Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I am your host here, Chantele Francis, and alongside me is my lovely co-host. We have
Brazil. I think
Hi,
it's who you're referring to. Good, how are you?
Pretty good, thank you. And oh my gosh, today, we're giving the people what they want here. People in the chat room have been asking Brazil and myself to talk with Sandhurst from Liming with Sandman. And we have him here today. He is down below. Please say hello to Reality Realnessers. Sandhurst.
Hello. How is everyone doing? Thank you so much for inviting me to this program. I've been watching it. It's been amazing. It's been an incredible journey. And to be here with you all has been the highlight of my week, to be honest. I've been looking forward to this.
Well, if this is your first time on Reality Realness, well then welcome. Please do us all a favor and subscribe right down below. We're on our journey to 1,000 subscribers and we want you to be on the ride with us. So today we are lucky to have Sandhurst to talk with us about the premiere of The Bachelorette season 16, Clare Crawley's season. Yay, we still get some content. So Sandhurst, the reason why we were connected is because people in our chat room love watching your videos about Love Island. And we were also covering Love Island every single day. And we saw your videos and you had a really amazing perspective coming from a reality television background. So if you don't mind, if you kind of maybe could take us with your understanding of reality TV and just a brief overview of what you thought of The Bachelorette.
Okay, so I started my reality TV journey 12 years ago. I was the first runner-up on Bravo's Make Me a Supermodel season 2. So I was able to go through that entire process as talent, as a contestant. And then I subsequently hosted one of Bravo's travel shows called Tour Group. That was about in 2015. So I was more a part of production on that side. Okay, when you're the host, you get, a little behind the scenes that the contestants or the travelers didn't get to, see. So that was that side. But I've also done a lot of review writing for reality television for a website called realitywanted.com. I did, I covered shows like Amazing Race, Big Brother, Survivor, and did some red carpet work for them as well. So that's my, foray into the reality television world.
Qualified to speak for sure.
Just a little. Just a little qualified.
Without giving, all your thoughts, of course, do you have maybe a brief blanket statement of what you felt about watching The Bachelorette for the first time? If I'm not mistaken, you have never seen any other seasons of The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, so you might not understand some of the tropes or some of the different, things that we are grown to expect. And so just from a brand new viewer, do you have some overall thoughts of the episode?
It's funny because I was making a video about this today and I was like, this was baptism by fire for me because I felt the producers threw every dramatic element into this opening episode. So I was like sitting down there, I was typing at first and then I was like, I can't take my eyes off of this. This is so dramatic right now. So definitely I need to see more. But it was all I can say is whoa. For my first time watching any of it, it was like I didn't expect that. Didn't expect it.
Well, I have to say that I felt it was a really good episode.
Yes.
I've seen every season, and I don't know if it's because she's an older bachelorette. We're around the same age bracket, and everybody else used to be about 24. And I'm like, why are they falling in love and getting married right now? Yes, I want to see them have this journey, but I don't necessarily care about a 24-year-old finding their forever person. You know what I mean? And so I don't know if I'm just more invested in Clare, but I really enjoyed the season, the start of the season, anyway. Go ahead.
I felt for me because she was older, there was a sense of urgency that you believed she was there looking for a husband. You understand what I'm saying? I feel coming off of watching Love Island for the first time, and you are seeing these 20-something-year-olds kissing up on each other. I felt on this one it was like, okay, games are done. They're throwing out the husband word and kids and all of that, and I'm like, you just met these people. How are you at this point where you feel comfortable talking about husbands? So that was one of the eye-opening moments for me where I was like, okay, this is serious versus something else. So yeah, I agree with you on that.
So we have Jaquan in the house. Jaquan has been with us from like day one. And so hi, Jaquan. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Hello,
and we also have Marvelous. Hello, Marvelous. If you have any questions, obviously, we're here to chat with you. You know, we love to hang out with the people in our chat group. So let's do it. So I did want to ask you, so there's been a lot of rumors that have been circulating around this season. And some of them have been, they're actually very out in the open, being covered by like Entertainment Tonight and stuff like that. And so we're assuming them to be true. I'm just curious if you want to be aware of those while you kind of think about your assessments.
I tend to not really. I tend to watch a reality show for what it is. Meaning, you know, I watch the TV. What they give me is that, you know. Having come back to this, you know, I'm doing reviews and analysis for the shows. Yes, I am aware of some of these rumors. But what I have learned is that sometimes these rumors can take on a life of their own. And, you know, it could be more than, we could be blowing certain things out of proportions, or there could be things that we're not even thinking about that were the catalyst for these things. So I prefer to reserve judgment on the rumors and see how it plays out, especially seeing that I just got acquainted with those rumors probably 2-3 days before.
Okay. So at least you're aware. Like, so if I mention them, you're not going to be like, you're spoiling me. I don't want to know. But like, you're aware. Okay, that's just good to know. Just because in this particular episode, there's some things that kind of came up that had to do kind of with Clare. So she was announced as a Bachelorette way back in March before everything was shut down for COVID. And so she did have the opportunity to get the list of men that were going to be on her season. They had already been announced. And so there was a lot of rumors about pre-gaming, and one of them even came up this particular episode. And so it is coloring a little bit of the actual season, and it doesn't seem like the show is shying away from these rumors. And so I just didn't want to ruin your experience.
They shouldn't. It's 2020. Social media is a thing now. You have to incorporate it into your show. Like, that's the truth.
Exactly. So, okay, so we start the show and we kind of see, you know, the little bit of Clare's journey. And if you're not aware, Clare, she's been a part of the Bachelor family for a little over 7 years. You know, she had her first season as a Bachelorette. She was as a contestant on The Bachelor. She ended up being final 2, and she had a pretty big dramatic ending of that relationship with Juan Pablo. And then she did Bachelor in Paradise a couple times. She left once. She did Bachelor Winter Games another time. She found someone, they didn't work out, and then she found another guy from Montreal, Canada, and then that didn't work out on the show, but then he proposed to her. So she's been involved in this world for a long time. And so I think that's also a lot of us, including Brazil, you were familiar with Clare in advance, weren't you?
Oh yeah.
And so we've been involved in her love story. And so it's been really nice to see that she's going to most likely have some sort of completion. How did you feel though about COVID in general? Like, how do you think that the producers and like, you know, the whole production of it having to deal with COVID? Like, how do you think that they're handling it?
Well, I think they're doing an exceptional job. We have to get back to some sense of normalcy or a new normal. And if that means we have to test like crazy and isolate these people in order for us to get this content back, then that is what we have to do. I feel for this cast though, because usually with a reality show, you're on lockdown or you're sequestered from the public for like, you know, probably a month and a half. But with them, you know, having been announced in March and then having to keep this kind of like, yes, I may be on the show, I might not be on the show, then with 2 extra weeks of testing and all of that kind of stuff, I feel for them because they have to be going through so much anxiety, you know, before they even start filming, you know.
And it is also rumored that a few people didn't pass that testing. 42 men, I believe, went to the resorts. I'm sure some of them didn't make the cut just because they weren't going to be maybe suitable for Clare. But I think also a few of them tested positive and they were going to be on the show. Have you done the test before? Like, they made it look like it's very painful.
It is.
I have not done the test, actually. I've been locked up in my home for like 6 months. I've not done the test. But I feel great.
Me too. I haven't done the test either, and I don't really want to. Hi, Destiny. How are you? So Destiny says she thought the COVID segment was boring. LOL. They could have skipped it. It's true.
They had to address it, though. They had to address it. I feel like they had to adjust it. They had to show that, you know, that was being done. We live in COVID time, so a little, you know, 2 minutes of it, I could take it.
Well, and you can't really like skip over it because it was a huge part of the preseason of the show. Like they were there for at least 2 weeks, getting all these tests, being cleared to be on the show. I think they also wanted the audience to feel safe when watching it.
Exactly.
You know, you don't want to be like see people hugging and kissing and be like, well, like, are they spreading COVID? You know.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, I was okay with it. How'd you feel about the guys doing their own little video segments in their little villas?
I think that was a great touch. I don't know if that's something that they have not done in the past, but I definitely think it's a great touch. It shows their creativity. It shows, it gives them a little extra, you know, 15 seconds of fame, you know, it's a little extra time to shine, you know. So I am all for, you know, giving the individual the opportunity to show their personality. So I was on board. They should probably keep that for future episodes. What about you? You all liked it, didn't like it?
I didn't mind it. Just so you know kind of what the difference is. Usually it's a very produced package with the guy running on the beach and then his shirt's off and he's in the shower. Like, you know, the typical get to know this guy with the lawyer and he's in his office and he's like hit the gavel, whatever it is, you know, it's usually more produced. So I do like the kind of the rawness of it. What do you think, Brazil? Did you like being introduced to guys like this?
Yeah, no, I did. The only thing I was missing was that made me realize that they're not all going to be boarding together. And like that always adds an extra element of drama or TV. And so the fact that I realized, oh my gosh, they have their own rooms, like they can kind of like record what they want, do what they want, and kind of control that narrative. I was like, that's going to definitely be something different about this season than the others.
Well, my question is that how they're going to be doing it moving forward, or was that simply for the pre-arrival segment? They wanted to sequester them from everybody else. So
that's what I'm thinking.
Sure.
I'm thinking that's what's happening is that like everybody had their own little villa, like when the preseason and all the COVID testings were happening. And then whoever maybe makes it around past night one, maybe will move into the mansion.
So you think they're going to go to another location?
Well, like this is a whole resort, so I'm sure that there's different, like, you know, super suites that they could probably have for these guys. Because we do see a few shots in some of the next episodes where there's a group of guys in like one big living room, and so
yeah, true.
They might move smaller amounts of guys. I don't think they have room like 31 bedrooms for all the guys, but they might have 20 spaces for 20 people to sleep, you know?
Yeah.
So one of the tropes of The Bachelorette are the limo entrances. Every season, you are going to see the lead stand there and different guys come out of the limo entrances. And so I have a lot of feelings and thoughts about them in general, but how did you feel about them seeing this for the first time?
Okay, well, I've known that is a thing. That's the one thing that I knew about the show. And I went into it thinking, okay, I get it. I'm going to see some gimmicks. Okay, some gimmicky moments are going to happen. However, my thought process was she's 39. She's an older woman. So most likely some of the gimmicks aren't going to ring like, oh yes, this guy's serious about marriage. You know, this might ring like, oh well, he's trying to play up to the cameras. So if I'm there for her, I would have, being the guy I am, I would have shown up in the limo, come out, hi Claire, how are you? My name is Sandhurst. You know, giving her a more like, yes, we can build a foundation on something. But driving up, coming up with the parachute and the knight's armor and this is my old car and I have all my stuff in it and I'm moving it to the side. And I'm just sitting there like, wow, is this what women want? You know, is this what women want? Let me know. I'm single, so is this? Do I need to do this whole song and dance? You know?
I don't think so. Especially not getting down on one knee and opening a fart box ring box thing.
That
like
so bad, so bad.
No, nobody wants that. But now, so I have a girl that I know that was part of the Bachelor Canada, and what she told me that she was like allowed to tell me was that they did ask her to do certain things, and so they had like this cake that they wanted her to jump out of and say happy birthday for him. And so they actually assigned her to do that.
Yes.
Do you think that that's how they went with them? Or do you think that they're like, hey, who wants the fart box? Who wants the parachute? Like auction it off.
No. You know what I feel? If I can be honest, I feel probably in one of the earlier incantations of The Bachelor or whatever, there was like that one person who did something creative and funny, and then the producers probably latched on to that and started producing those moments coming forward. So I'm sure production would have said, okay, we want you to do this, we want you to do that, or the contestants will come up and say, well, I have an idea of something I want to do, and then the producers will make it happen. Because Rolls Royce guy, like, did he really hire a Rolls Royce in COVID times to come through? You know, like there's some moments that I was like, I'm not too sure if this was all you versus production, but yeah, exactly.
Like this
Straight
one?
jacket guy. You know?
The straight jacket guy was too much. She wasn't.
Yes.
She wasn't into the gimmicks at all, really. Like the straight jacket guy though, just like how he like even walked off, like
Exactly.
I don't know what was happening.
For the
there.
whole night, he's just locked up in there, and I'm looking at him like, was this worth it? Was this worth it?
He couldn't even give her a hug. Like,
Brazil, was there one gimmick that you liked? Brazil?
I mean, this season's like very different from all the others, in the sense that I feel that when it's a younger Bachelorette, they are doing those outlandish kind of gimmicks. And there's this one, it was kind of just, I don't know, everyone was just like introducing themselves, like you were saying, like that's probably what she wants.
Right.
I mean, obviously Jordan M was my favorite, but sorry. Skipping ahead a bit, but yeah, I don't know, just like any, or even with Brendan, not Brandon, Brendan, just like I don't know, he just like seemed to be so happy to see her. She's like, I like your bow tie. He's like giggling and walking away. I just thought like those like real moments were, I don't know, attractive to me.
Producers run the risk when they try to overproduce these segments. Like we're trying to decipher whether or not they're real or not. You know, like whether or not they have a genuine connection. I feel like us as the audience, we're looking for that. But when they try to say, well, we're going to try to entertain the audience, they're doing too much there. So I feel for some of the guys who had more serious interactions, because they would have definitely made a truer connection with her initially than the gimmick one. So it's a toss-up. I would probably tell the producers, no, I just want to come out of the limousine and just say hello.
What if they forced one on you?
Yeah, no, you're not gonna force that on me.
And that's the hard part too, because it's that finding that balance of being remembered, because you might not have a chance to get talked to once you're inside, like we saw last night. And so it's walking that fine line of like cheesy, not cheesy, meaningful, able to be remembered. So the ones that are able to do it go far, I think.
Jay Jobs is in the house. Hi, Jay Jobs. Good evening. For your information, the straight jacket was not a gimmick. LOL. Did you see that guy?
He wanted love.
You say love crazy. Well, I don't even know how I'd get my hands on a straight jacket. So, I mean, that's the question here.
Yo.
Okay, so who else did we like? Anybody else?
I
didn't mind that Mike brought flip-flops. I was like, okay, that's kind of cute. Like, you know that she's gonna be standing in heels the whole night, and something that to remember her by. It kind of reminded me of her wedding, though. Like, you know, at the wedding when you give like all the guests like flip-flops, so like they can dance on the dance floor. But I thought it was a decent.
I thought it was very considerate. Again, for a woman of a particular age, I think he was thinking. You know, I think that's some serious thought there. So, kudos to him.
Yeah.
Anybody else stick out?
AJ, because he almost broke her hands.
Whoa! Yeah.
Yeah. Nerves is a thing. Yeah.
She even said ow.
She was screaming ow, and he still continued. Like, he has no clue that he probably watched it today and was like, oh, I hurt her, you know? So, yeah, that was a moment.
After saying he doesn't make good first impressions.
It was so bad. It was so bad. And what's also really awful is for Brazil and I, we did a draft list of like our draft picks of this whole season. And I believe he was last on both of ours. And we're like, we really wanted to like him. We thought he was cute. He looked kind of like Neve, if you know Neve from Catfish. We're like, yeah, he's kind of cute. But like for some reason, we did not think he was going to do well. And we kind of nailed it.
Well,
Yeah,
it's funny because I was actually going to do a tier system of, you know, my arrival picks and all of that. But then when I started hearing rumors that there might be another Bachelorette and all of that, when that started coming to play, I was like, do I waste my time doing a draft list and then having to do another one? But when I did it for Clare, I didn't put him at the top of my list for her at all. He would have been in the lower tier. However, for the other Bachelorette, I would actually increase his ranking because I think she seems to have an attraction to more quirky guys from what I've seen. So I think he would have done better with her if that is a thing, you know. So
I could see that too. Yeah, I think that they look better together. Clare is actually, she's I think half Mexican, so she has a little bit of, you know, ethnic flavor, we'll say, within her. But Tayshia is I think half black, half Dominican Republic. I could be quite wrong, but she is also a mix, and I think that. But I do feel as though he would do better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really awkward moment too. I
cringed too. I was like, oh God, I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
All rooting for him. And then it just didn't happen at all. Destiny says, I wonder those guys who said they're dying to love, they're dying love to Clare. How are they going to switch to new Bachelorette? I think that it's going to be unfair to the new Bachelorette. Well, what do you think then, though, like your professional opinion, we'll say, with how they may do the transition, especially since you just don't know how the Bachelorette goes? Like, logically, what do you think would be the way that the producers would do this?
Well, okay. If they'll just have to be truthful in the sense of, okay, yes, these guys came on for Clare, but I think more so two things. They came for love. They came to find love, and only one of them would find love with Clare. The other 30 would have to find love with someone else, so they might as well stay for Tayshia and see where it goes. But two, I always say people don't really go on reality shows for love. We're going on these shows now for followers, for exposure. So I would find, if you tell me that half of them said, no, I was only here for Clare, I would be shocked out of my mind, you know? So I think they'll all be like, oh, well, she's really beautiful, Tayshia, and I've grown to like her. We're going to hear those statements. So I think that all of them will come back for a chance to be on the show again if Tayshia is to continue, you know? So I don't think they're going to find a whole new batch of guys to test them, to scan them, to go through the background checks. No, they're just going to bring the guys they had already. And so
do you think that they're going to add any new people? So like say like the 11 people that went home that didn't actually participate in the season, do you think they'll bring them back? Or do you think they'll just use her leftovers? I think they'll give them the opportunity to come back. I think so. Casting takes so long to do that for them to go through a whole new casting list to bring guys like, when you already have 11 here, I would reach out to them, say, hey, we have a new Bachelorette. It's Tayshia. Are you interested? Yes, no, maybe so. They fly back for Tayshia, testing again, blah, 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 blah. But I don't foresee the producers going through a whole new round of not the whole thing, not guys. In the time of COVID.
Yeah,
not exactly. Right now.
No. So we're gonna see those guys again. Okay, we're gonna see them again. AJ's gonna have a second chance, y'all.
Brazil and I were like, because she was doing our draft for Tayshia, and I'm like, well, we can't do the draft for Tayshia. Like, we have to do it for Clare. This is all we know for sure right now. So it's kind of like the same argument that you were having with yourself. So we end up doing it for Clare in the end, and then we're gonna do a redraft with the leftover pieces or whoever is reshaken back in, and see if it's something. Well, it's gonna change up a little bit for sure. So I see where you're coming from though, with not wanting to bother with how the season is most likely going to turn out. And look at this, we have a fan. Realist answers. Hi, Realist. Oh my God, Sandman, you guys linked. Yay! Hey. Yes, we did.
Realist is my girl.
Realist is just Realist. That's the name. So I'm working with this new platform. Yeah.
I don't know her their real name. I'm not sure if it's a she or not.
That's their screen name. Got it.
Screen name.
Hi, Realist.
I believe Realist was the first person that suggested your videos, and so then we started watching them, and then other people started suggesting them as well. I'm not sure who approached you on in your feeds or comments, but Realist has definitely been.
I just had a premiere of one of my videos, and someone was like, "You need to contact the Realist. You have to talk to them." And I was like, "Okay, I've been watching them, but I didn't know that was a thing I could do." So.
Absolutely. I mean, like this is what I love about people that are reality TV junkies, is that we're all kind of hidden separately, but we can get together and talk about reality TV all day long.
Yes.
Which is what I actually love to do. Desi says the guy his
Dr.
red
Joe.
heart out of the chat. Pardon?
Dr. Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Joe stood out. You love Dr. Joe Brazil. She works as a nurse, and so she definitely has a liking to doctors and anesthesiologists. So what do you think about Dr. Joe's entrance?
Not all doctors, just anesthesiologists.
Wow. Wow.
My roommate can confirm the anesthesiologists are typically the coolest ones, but I'm rooting for him just because I know he's obviously very intelligent. I didn't draft him very high on my team just because I didn't think that he would be Claire's type, but I couldn't let him not be on my team.
No, I don't know if this is actually Dr. Joe she's talking about, because Dr. Joe stayed.
No, she's talking about the guy who had the tattoo on his heart, and he
he had the red heart.
Yeah, he was upset because he didn't get to talk to her, and then she nixed him. And I agree with you, Destiny 100. I do, but that was my thing with the whole show. Like, I felt like everyone was, I love Claire, and I came here for her, and I want to marry her, and I'm like, this is strange. This is strange that you have not met this woman in real life, but yet you all are already like, so deep into her, So I agree with you, Destiny 100%.
In our draft assessment, Brazil believed that Paige was very, he was European maybe, and she thought he was going to have an accent. It was completely the opposite. I laughed so hard. I was like, Brazil,
look at the picture that
Pardon?
we drafted. I said, look at the picture we drafted him on. His mouth just looks like different. Like it was set up a little different. I don't know. But
I feel like he's French, like somewhere foreign.
Fashion.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought he'd be like a chef. He's a hard worker. I was excited that he knows how to cook, and then he was talking, and I was like, uh-oh.
He was on my list though, anyway, so I lost out. But
sorry, the red heart. I thought it was Dr. Joe because after he took off the stethoscope, he had the red heart pin to his jacket.
Okay.
And he had like all that origami inside as well. I thought that was kind of cute.
It was different for sure.
I didn't think that there was like a vibe. Go ahead.
I said he had time to make them, so yeah.
Oh my gosh, that remind me when we get to the rose ceremony at how light it was outside. That's normally not that light outside.
Oh, well, no, that made sense to me because those things take so long to film. It's not even funny. You're there for like good 6 hours and you think, it's just easy giving one rose out to someone. Filming elimination scenes take a long period of time. So when he came out in the day, I was surprised that they actually showed it like that, like the real thing. Like, yeah, it's daylight. It's usually daylight by the time they're done those things. So.
Yeah, they normally do it. And it's like sunrise, but it was like straight, probably 9 a.m. 11 a.m. It was like late morning. Sorry, go ahead.
I have heard that some of those rose ceremonies take 12 hours. So it's very possible that, they started that at 10 p.m. and like 9, 10 a.m. They're still giving out those roses.
Yeah.
So the moment of truth happens. And I'm watching this with my mom last night. And Mr. Dale exits the limo and walks up to Claire. And I saw it. I saw the sparks between them. What did you guys think about this moment?
Pre-gaming.
She 100% knew that man, spoke to that man. None of the other men mattered. And she even says it, like she said, I've been looking forward to this. When he came out of the limo, she said it, right? I think I remember it. Like she said, I've been looking forward to this. He walks up, they hug. The thing I have that played on my mind is she was in love. No question about it when she saw him, in love. But I felt like either he was pretending to now be meeting her, talking to her for the first time, or he was not where she was at just yet, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, like, I didn't feel like he was like, oh yeah, you know, I've been waiting for this moment too. Like, it just seemed like, hi, my name is Dale, and she's trying to contain her energy, but he seemed to be cautiously, you know, interacting with her. So I was not sold on him being in love with her, but I knew she was in love with him. So I don't know if it's a game he's playing to just look the part for the producers.
Well,
if you understand what I'm saying.
Go with the theory that because they had the list beforehand, that he was another person that she hasn't mentioned at this point has contacted her, and they've been chatting and maybe, you know, texting or sexting or whatever. And it could be one of those moments. I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to see you. Like when we meet, I'm just gonna kiss you or whatever it is. It could be one of those moments, but he could be just playing it cool and be like, hey, we're not supposed to act like we've been talking yet.
I think that's what it is. I really think that's what it is, because again, their contracts are so extensive, and you know, the repercussions for breaking the rules are so high, which is why, I mean, I'm sure we're gonna get to the Blake moment, but which is why what Blake did to me was like alarming, because you run the risk of getting kicked off the show, getting fined, and all of that. So she is a part of production, so she gets to, you know, the rules get to be bent for her a bit, but for him, he would have to play by the rules, like, you know, every I cross every T. So for me, when I see him, I think he's trying to contain himself, because I was looking to see if he would run up to her too and be like, yes, my love, and you know, but it wasn't that just yet. So I think he's holding back just a bit for the producers, more so, not to get in trouble.
So I agree, because I didn't see anything different than I saw with the other, like, just very plain greetings from the limo. Like, I didn't see, I saw her like absolutely melt to the floor, but I didn't see, he didn't give her anything to make her do that. So it made me think that, like, you know, so there's something more that we're not seeing here. And like Chris Harrison said, he's been doing it how many seasons combined for Bachelor and Bachelorette? And he's never heard anyone say, I just met my husband. Like, come on. And the season isn't like any other. So
if we want to continue going around this thought process with the Blake from Canada situation, so Brazil was kind of bringing up like the whole pre-gaming part, with the fact that like her mom did have like an episode where I think it was in March or April, where she fell and she broke her nose, and it was part of, I think she was living in an assisted, elderly facility of some sort, and so he did approach her. And messaged her, and she brought this up. So do you think that she brought this up to make it appear as though, you know, she's laying down the law, she's not letting people getting away with this because she's trying to hide the fact that she's done it herself?
Yeah. Or at least make it seem like it's been done before.
Well, 100% agree. 100% agree, because there are things that I like to go back to production with everything. There are things that this production is doing that they would never do in a regular season. When she said that line, like, I just met my husband, it tells me this season is going to be short, meaning her time on the show is going to be short. Production never wants you to make these big statements like that. They want the audience to grow with the love and all of that. If the audience feels like, oh, well, she's already in it for just one person, then they're going to edit that out, you know, so that it looks like everybody has a legit shot, right? So that was my first cue that, okay, this isn't going to be your typical full Claire to the end kind of moment, right? But then I agree with your assessment of that moment where she's talking to Blake and basically outing him for no reason, you know, like outing what he did, because it's kind of like I think from what I'm seeing with the little previews, maybe it does come to light that she and Dale were talking before and the other guys were getting upset at that. You know, again, this is me just projecting here, but maybe that is why they got all, you know, angry and that kind of stuff, because they felt he had an unfair advantage. And them editing that moment in there, it's like, well, you know, this is not that bad. Even though I'm slapping you on the wrist, you know.
Yep.
I also think from Blake's standpoint, that was a great thing to do, because here's the thing. I'm about to go on this show to fall in love with you, to marry you, because I guess this is the outcome, to be engaged. Yeah, if your mother has an accident, me reaching out to you endears me to you, one, you know, and that's what a boyfriend, future husband, whatever should do. So I feel like they were trying to show that part too. Like, yes, he's taking her seriously. He's in love with her. So he will do that. So I feel like a lot of boxes got checked on that one moment right there.
I agree with you here. So Destiny says, I'm a big fan of Sandman. His video on J-Lib was great. He had great insider info on Love Island. This is true. This is true.
You all have no idea how this makes me feel. It's surreal, all of this love. Really.
So fun though, right?
It is.
J. Jones says, Claire, in every interview, swore that Blake was the only one who contacted her before the show. Are you calling Claire a liar? LOL.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, wow. Yes. Okay, Brazil, tell us so you really...
Well, I mean, Chris Harrison does say that Claire breaks the Bachelorette, and breaking the Bachelorette could be lying on something that they said that they would never do.
Yeah, and he said we can't continue anymore. Why?
Well,
Did she break her contract? Did, you know, like, come on.
Unfortunately, they announced the cast in March. You're telling me from March to when they started filming, probably in July, nobody said hello in a DM. It's 2020. We can't believe that. We can't believe that they did not contact each other, you know? So, sorry. I have to call it like I see it.
Realist says, at this point, have both Claire and Dale been honest with production? Not sure. Because she was quite obvious with her excitement and saying that things like, I knew when he got out of the car. Yes, and that's kind of going through her sentiments.
Yeah.
I mean, I still felt the chemistry between them, though. So I can see where you guys are both coming from, where that it wasn't necessarily him exuding that as well, but there was something going on there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I do feel that, like, regardless of whether he was like, ba-ba, like, I love you too, well, but I do feel like he was allowing her to be like this. Like, if he wasn't interested, he would have been like, push it back, or like,
well, no.
a wall.
I mean, again, like, he's on that show to woo her. So obviously he has some, you know, feelings there for her, or interest there for her, you know? So that's not my thing. It's just that I feel like what we are feeling and seeing is her excitement projected on everyone. And now we're like, whoa, a moment has happened here. And when I dissect the moment from her half and from his half, I look at him and I'm like, oh, okay. He's playing the let me eat cool, because if it comes out that we've been talking and I've been sending her, you know, pics and all of that kind of stuff, I'll get thrown out, you know? So I feel like he had to think about it more so than her.
And also, though, so I'm just kind of thinking now more down this line. So if they've been talking and maybe they do feel like they were going to end up together, and they're like, listen, let's just play this season out, because, you know, he's going to get his weekly stipend of $1,000. I don't know if he gets paid to be a contestant, but like, he's getting some money for being there. If she wins, gets the guy, gets the ring, and they stay together for 2 years, they get to keep the ring. And I believe that the Bachelorette also gets $250,000 for their season. So it's actually a good business deal for them as a couple to stay together. And so maybe he was holding up his end of the bargain here, and she was just too excited to meet this handsome man.
I am so happy you brought up that financial element, because people don't realize how that goes into playing with these reality shows. People don't realize that with certain reality shows, you get paid a lump sum first, right? And then the longer you stay on them, you get paid $1,000 extra per cut that you make, you know, like Big Brother is notorious for that. So for some of these guys, they're not even there to, you know, woo Claire at all. They're just here to stay as long as they can to make that money. So yes, I can see that train of thought of let us maximize our gains on this. We both like each other. We're both into each other, but play the game. I'm gonna have to kiss some other men along the way. Don't be too jealous, but a little jealous. You know, So I definitely could see that conversation being had. Which is also one of the reasons why they probably kicked her off. Or never mind.
I mean, that's what I'm kind of getting like, oh my God, because it maybe though, when Chris Harrison sees her coming out of the limo and having this reaction to him and him being, this is the first time this has ever happened, kind of like what you're saying with like, we don't have a show if we know who the winner is going to be. So they were probably doing their contingency plan from then, being like, oh, okay, she's into him. She's going to choose him. And let's end this season. Tasha, let's get you in here, get her quarantined and whatnot. I feel like that moment might have been when Chris decided that maybe they need to be looking for a second Bachelorette.
Quick question. Is he like an executive producer on the show now or something?
I believe so. He's been there from the beginning, so it's almost 20 years now. I would say, yeah, he has a lot of pull.
Okay.
I'm like, if I was Claire, I would have 100% more chill than she did. But I'm also happy that she didn't, because I would be livid if I watched the whole season and it was like preconceived at least. So
right.
I wouldn't be livid, but I would be like, it's such a waste of time for all those 30 other men.
Yep.
And I think Jaron, I don't know how to say his name, but he said it the best. He was like, we, the men of this season, are taking a way bigger risk than other contestants because we have to be quarantined longer, and you're walking away from a job you might not have when you are done with the show.
Of course.
Because like you don't know if your job's still there. Like everyone's like really strapped right now. So
it could be considered a little bit selfish for the other people that are involved, but then I can also thinking like, oh my God, this is my opportunity here. Like, yes, I want to find love, but yes, it's also my job right now to like make this paycheck. And so I can see both sides of it as well. Like, let me follow through with my contract here. I'm supposed to date these guys no matter when I fall in love with them, and let's just make that happen. It just happened in a few seasons before where we knew from day one who they were going to pick. Pretty much all the Bachelorettes, whoever they gave their first impression rose to were the person at the end. I believe it was for all of them. I don't know 100% if that's a true fact.
It's like another trope almost at this point, but I think. But the difference with that is that at least not that we know of, the pre-gaming aspect, I think is the
difference.
Because I guess they would have announced the cast like probably a week before they started filming back in those days, so having 6 months in between, it's
very different for sure.
Meso,
hi Meso. She says, oh my God, Salmon.
Meso.
Okay, Dale was fine. Fireside. I agree with Sandman. I think that they talked already too. I agree with Sandman. He didn't seem like he wanted to kiss her first too. Yes, we'll get to that moment. It was interesting. I wish she said love at first sight instead of husband. That's true too. Like, I know she's an older woman, but have a little bit of chill here. Like when she was just like, my mom's like, wow, like.
Well, right. Well, good. I need to meet your mother because she and I were on the same page a lot. Like,
she saw the connection and she's happy for Claire. She's very, familiar with her story. But she was just like, she needs to have a little more chill. Like my mom always tells me, she's like, make sure that they like you more than you like them. Like that's always what she says. Always. Never show them how much you like them ever.
Wow, Mama's a player. Okay.
Well, she knows how to keep a man, That's what I'd have to say, I guess.
We also have to keep in mind that this is not Claire's first rodeo in this field, this is her fourth, fifth Bachelor show, so by now she's like, okay, fuck it, everybody knows I'm looking for a husband. Like, should I pretend like I'm coy? So
I don't blame her for it. I'm just happy that they edited. Oh my God, I have a really hard time saying that word.
Edited it.
Yes, that. The way that they did, that way at least we know what's coming.
Right.
Even the people, the casual that has no idea, they're like, wait, what?
Mhm.
So, and I think we were spot on with how many people were left when it happened, because they're like, should the 15 of us get up and walk out? And Chantele
Right.
and I settled on the number of 15 guys that were going to be left when this happened. So
It's true. Mesa says,
that-
yeah, I think that they talked before quarantine. Even Reality Seed have mentioned it. And yes, I did read that they had talked before, and that's why they were able to like instantaneously have this kind of connection.
Right.
But this was also 6 months ago. So I was like, I don't know where Reality Steve is getting his content right now. So I'm kind of like playing it off as like, maybe not, we'll see what happens, you know?
Right. And they only addressed the Blake thing. So again, we can only go off of that, you know?
Mary's here. Hi, Mary. How are you?
Hi, Mary.
Mary says, hi guys. I don't think Dale is into Claire as she is into him. Oh no. But I do think that they talked before the show for sure. No, that can't be what happened. It can't be that she's all in on Dale and he breaks her heart, and that's why she like in the next preview it looks like she's leaving. I'm like, I know.
I'm sorry. Mary, you may have a point.
She might. What if that's what they wanted to think?
Well, there's so many things we can think, right? There's so many things we can think, but I too am going along like the way the guys are like, yeah, he's playing you, blah blah blah. Like there's so much that's about to come out in these next 2 episodes that it could go either way on this, you know. But yeah, it could go either way. So
welcome to Bachelor Nation.
I know, right?
It's actually a really good scene, though, we'll say, compared to Love Island right now, because it's usually not as interesting and fun as Love Island is.
Right.
And so it's good. This is a good one for you to be introduced to, because there's a lot of just good drama going on, not like the contrived drama that we don't really care for, you know?
Exactly.
So Beso also says, yeah, they definitely talked during lockdown. She was already into him before their official meet.
Yeah. Oh, Beso has a lot to say.
Yes, she does. Beso also says, yes, they get more followers online too. Absolutely. Influencer gigs, 100%. These contestants in The Bachelorette do not get paid, only the lead. They have to get a stipend, though. That's like always, they'll get a weekly for sure.
Yeah.
And they gain through influencing opportunities depending on popularity. Yes. That's all very true. And I wouldn't want to mess up that opportunity either. So maybe Dale is pissed that Claire is being too obvious and he wants to play the game more and is like annoyed that she's like outing them.
I love how we're projecting our thoughts on their relationship. Like, and he said that what? And
well, what else do we have to do here?
But you know, it's funny because I feel like in the moment when they were having the one-on-one, maybe it may have been the part where she gives him the first impression rose. I feel like his smile is like plastered on, but his eyes are kind of telling her, calm down, like, stop, you know, hold back. Because like she's going in for the kiss immediately, and he's like, don't do it, girl. Like, don't do it. You know, you're ruining our money. You know, so I felt there was a moment there of miscommunication, like, don't kiss me now, you know, but
because like she like the kiss on the cheek happens, and then she's like, come here. She's like, oh, I'm just really nervous.
Yes.
I do feel like he's into her, but I definitely
I feel like you really want to believe this. You really want to believe this love. Like, I feel like you really want them to work. But
this is how.
No, I'm just kidding.
What?
That's how I was with J-Lib.
Well, I guess because I see so much from Claire and I want good things to happen for her, that even also with the pre-gaming stuff and hearing that's who she ends up with, like I'm already figuring in my head, like that's going to be the ultimate ending. And so like I could be completely wrong. All this could be just to spin so we will actually believe that's the storyline, and then we just get smacked in the face. He's not a good guy. He leaves her. She's upset. She leaves the show. Tasha comes. Like, I don't know. There's so many different things.
I just don't want you to be hurt, okay? I just
No.
don't want you to
I'm not one of these crazy stands that like give my firstborn away for these
She only cares
online
because
TV shows.
She drafted him. That's the only reason why she cares.
Right.
True.
Right.
And I mean, I'd rather him be single. He's a Libra. He's a little bit too young for me, but like, I think we make a good match. So I wouldn't mind him being single, right? I'm Aquarius. Aquarius.
Okay, yeah. Okay, Dale, give her your number.
You can slide into my DMs. I would never, ever tell on you. What does J-Dobbs have to say? J-Dobbs says that it seems like Brazil was describing Peter Weber and Kelly Flanagan's Bachelor season.
Yeah,
LOL.
True.
Do you want to get some backstory for this for Sandhurst?
Yeah, sure. So he was the last Bachelor, the most recent one. And I guess they were both, or he was in San Diego for a wedding or some family event. And he ran into someone else that was also at the same hotel as him. And her name was Kelly. And she was like, oh my God, are you like going to be the Bachelor? And he was like, I don't know if we're supposed to talk about this, but yes. And so they ended up hanging out before the show started at the hotel because they just happened to be the same place, same time. And they talked about it though during the show. Like he openly told everyone. He didn't end up picking her. She wasn't even in
the top three. She's in the top 5, I think.
Oh, well,
5 or 4.
Okay, she made it. Once she made it.
But
yeah, but she wasn't giving him like she's a lawyer, so she was just kind of like she's a lot smarter than he is, and so she just wasn't. They're not each other's types, I don't believe anyway. And yeah, so she didn't even make it to final 2, but then like afterwards,
now
like he had a whole huge drama. Like picked one girl, then went back to the other girl, and then ended up with the 5th girl, Kelly.
Okay.
So he ended up going to quarantine with this Kelly person. Everybody's like, what's going on? Are you guys dating? And he's like, no, I just happened to be in the city and we had to shut down for quarantining. So they quarantined together and now they're dating. But like, I'm wondering now, if we think about what we're talking about with Clare here, so maybe they did bump into each other and the producers were pissed that like, you know, they knew what was going to go on this whole thing. So like, you're not allowed to pick Kelly for this. Pick somebody else. He goes on this whole love story with somebody else. He breaks 2 girls' hearts, and then he ends up with Kelly, who he wanted to be with anyways, and still finished his season as The Bachelor.
Okay, I could see that 100%.
Well, because his season was so much drama that like my head could not stay on right. It was just like spinning, like the last trimester of it. I didn't know what to think or what to do.
I was surprised though with her. This is completely separate, but her connection with Easy, they kind of had. I didn't think they were going to get along as well, and like I was very impressed. What do you think in Sandhurst?
well, okay. When I saw her, I was like, okay, is she really attracted to Asian men? Is she really attracted to Black men? Like, yeah, or are they just there for the public? You know, because I always believe with like a Bachelor situation or a Bachelorette, they probably cast about 7 guys based on what her type is, and then the rest is for the public to just have someone to root for, right? Yeah. But when I saw her connection with Easy, I actually felt like, okay, I could see this. Like, I can see her interest in him, you know? So I was like, okay, I could, you know, I believe this now. I believe you have 31 options of legit guys
I have a question then. Why didn't she keep Jordan M?
Oh, I don't know.
Wait, hold on. Sorry. Who is Jordan M again?
He was like 6'8", tall drink of water.
I could tell you why.
Okay, why?
His pants are too short?
His suit. I'm 6'5", ladies. That what I saw there.
The short pants.
So okay, so do you have to get a suit like special made, or he just
have to? We cannot go into Men's Warehouse and say, I'm picking this up and walking out. No, we can't do that. And I get it. Fashion is saying no, that we can have like flood water pants, but those were halfway up his calves.
Yeah.
No. And, no, I was so mad. Brazil. I was like, sir, you're not representing us well. You should have done research. What is this? You're not presenting your best foot forward here. And yeah.
I know, it's so funny though. I feel really bad that when I saw him, because I think he's very cute, and we were just kind of saying like, oh, he's a sweet looking man. And so when they're hugging, he kind of like, obviously he kind of bent down, but he bent, his butt was really out. So I'm like, okay, he's not actually even into her from how he hugged. And then I see this much ankles showing.
Okay, ladies, I'm gonna fill you all in on a little thing, right? Us tall men, yes, we know you all like us to kind of smother you with the hug, right? But you do need to press your abdomen up to the woman to show it's like you know. But when you go this way, it now is very awkward. It's like, hi, nice to meet you, Sister Mary Clarence. And you know, it's not like your interests. You don't show your interest. So there was so many things. I'm watching this moment, and I'm like, sir, tall men, you're not representing us well in this entire, meeting. So I knew fully why he was not a factor in her love equation.
Oh my God.
I was so disappointed.
Second draft pick, it's fine.
Oh my God, he was your number one, wasn't he? So I hope Claire starts to chill later on. 38, 39 isn't that old. There are a lot of people who get married later in life. They just focus on too much on age, just like the virgin guy, LOL. Well, I think though with the Claire age thing, I'm gonna say this because like I'm in Claire's age bracket, not in like all the other bachelorettes. So I think that because it's something so different, that they have to kind of announce it often because how she's interacting with these guys is like, it's like, this is business. I'm here for business. I'm not here to mess around. And if people are watching the show and like, oh, what happened to like, the fun, flirty young girl? Like, I think they just have to explain it to people over and over again because they're maybe like expecting something specific. So that's my opinion.
And I also think, I would say the demographic that watches this show would be women mostly in Claire's age range, more so than younger women in their 20s and that kind of stuff. So I feel like having a bachelorette who is 39 years old, no, she definitely reflects a large segment of the viewing population. So they have to reiterate it all the time. Hey,
we're doing good, right? We're doing good.
Yeah, she's one of you. She's still young. She's still bubbly. She's still out there looking for love. She has 31 men to choose from. But at the same time, there are some realities. Society has placed such a heavy, pressure on women to get married and to get married younger and all of that kind of stuff. So her saying, I am here for a husband. I am here for love. I'm done playing games. I'm 39. I'm proud of that. It will resonate to me with a lot of women who are that age and like, I'm done going out playing the scene and playing games. Are you serious about marriage? No, move on. So
absolutely. And another thing too that I think it's really helpful for is like kind of like, okay, so we have the Jayla winning the show over there. And for the first time, I'm seeing a beautiful Black woman be the lead of the show and win this series. So now I know that that's a possibility for me. And me being in Claire's age bracket, oh my God, I could actually be a lead of a show like this and possibly find true love. Like there is still people care about me finding love. And so I think it gives hope also to people that may be in the audience that is in Claire's age bracket that feel as though love is impossible for them. I think it's also reminding them that like, hey, we believe that you deserve love just as much as a 24-year-old. So I'm down with them saying it this many times. I get it. J Job says, you're so funny. So J Job says, you're all implying that Claire would not be a good poker player. No poker face, LOL. No poker face.
Hell to the no.
Deja's
she
here.
Almost gave birth.
I know, right? Hi, Deja.
Hey, Deja.
And Anna. Hey, guys. Hi, Anna.
Hi, Anna.
So Mesa says, yes, Pilot Pete season was messy. He was very indecisive. Yeah, one thing I didn't like about that season was because he's a little bit younger. I think he's 28 years old. He has all these girls like all over him. He still lives at home. Like he has a job. He's a pilot. Cool. But like, I don't know. He's not like a man to me. And so I think that he was just kind of playing, having fun, and which is fine, but not the Bachelor I want to see.
Yeah, that's one of my problems with these dating shows. Like you put these young people on the show and say like, yes, plan the rest of your life from it. Like, no, they're all just there to hook up and stuff like that. So yeah.
Brazil, you're gonna be upset with this. Anna says the pants were crazy, the short pants.
I wasn't a fan of the pants. I was just a fan of him. I wish he would have done well. He was very attractive.
Thank you, Anna. Short pants.
Short pants. He's in Santa Monica, So maybe I can refer him to a tailor.
He's cute though, but he needs someone to help him there. Maybe he grew while he was in quarantine.
I love it. You have Dale, and Brazil has short pants guy. Okay, got it. Something for everyone.
I mean, maybe this is just how it's supposed to be. So, okay, what else happened on this episode? Okay, actually, I have a question. So when we were chatting before, you were mentioning that the table flipping scene changed reality television forever.
Yes.
And so there's a trope that's within the Bachelorette like family is that, you know, we got to be there for the right reasons. And there's always a drama of some sort where there's a girl in the past or a girl that's a girlfriend back at home. And there's always this is always a drama on every single season that the producers, I feel, plant in there to create whatever storyline they want. Even for Peter's season that we were talking about, they had a girl stop him on a date that he's with the girl in question, saying like, that girl that you're here on this date with is here for the wrong reasons.
Right.
So my question is kind of geared towards the Tyler C. Yosef drama about sliding into DMs from somebody out of his small town. Thoughts, please.
Brazil, you want to hit this one first? Want to hit this one? Because I mean, this
happens every season, right? Like we always, like you said, we always have this occur. The fact that it happened on the first night, the fact that he went about it in a way that he's supposed to. He went to the man first. Someone even made a comment. He's handling it like a man should.
No.
Typically, but typically in The Bachelor, they'll go to the Bachelorette first or vice versa. Tell them, the lead, hey, this is the case. I just want to let you know I don't think they're here for you. And then she comes in, can I talk to you? And then they go out, and then it's like a whole drama. And then, so according to Tyler C., he went about it the right way. So I don't know. It was very interesting to see how it ended up. But also, isn't Tyler C. the one that knew a previous Bachelor? Is that the same guy? Nick Viall?
No, that was Robby.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know.
Tyler C. was the station wagon guy.
Yeah. I thought Tyler C. was the one that knew Nick Viall. Yeah, because then it made more sense to me too that he had that info. But regardless, like I don't know. I wouldn't have kept either of them. I would have been like, goodbye, both of you.
Okay, player. You see, I like that. Number one rule of manism: keep your mind on the prize and stay out of other people's business. He should not have said anything at any point in the game. Never. Yeah. Women don't like men who bring drama. Like they don't.
So gross.
So even if you were trying to help her out or whatever, you have no first-hand knowledge of this. The man starts the statement with, I know a girl who knows someone in my old town and that person contacted me. As soon as you have to do points of connection, it's done. It's done, right?
Unless it's your sister or your mother or your brother.
Exactly.
Keep your mouth shut.
Then he goes and tells the other guys first. He tells the other guys, so he's a gossiping queen. I mean, I'm just saying, like he tells them first, pulls the guy aside. No, okay, I'm pulling you aside. What do I think you're gonna say? Yes, I've been rolling up into someone's DMs. Of course he's going to deny it. So it was pointless to address it with him in the first place. No, okay, so that's where Tyler went wrong by opening up his mouth in the first place, right? Yeah. But Yosef, all you had to do was shut your mouth and just go on. Let her bring it up to you because Tyler went to her and let him do that. The fact that Yosef now goes up, interrupts Claire on her little one-on-one with Riley, I believe.
Riley, yeah.
Yeah, he interrupts. It shows he has no respect for the process, no respect for Riley or her to get to know him. And then starts bringing up this drama. And the thing I loved about Claire is she's a grown woman. She was like, wait, stop. Before you go crazy with this, let's just bring this other guy in because I don't have time for this. And then Tyler sits down there, you know, like, well, I kind of, and then Yosef is like, well, he too goes on a roundabout thing, and immediately she makes them look so small. She makes them look so small. She's like, well, okay. You can tell she's looking at them, little boys. Yep. I'm gonna go and continue my night.
Yep.
And I'm gonna jump ahead here. I think she would have dropped both of them, but the producers told her she had to choose one of those two. For sure. But
like,
yeah,
pick a side.
Yeah, number one rule of menism: you keep your mouth shut, and you focus on yourself, and you and Claire. That's all you need to do.
The best quote of the night was, "Man, I really hope this is about the fight and not the first impression, Rose."
Yes. Deja says Yosef is giving me crazy vibes, and he definitely, for me, like, I thought he was handsome, and I was like,
I thought he was one of the ones you found their sign.
Did I?
I don't know why I felt like you talked about him.
Nope, he's not on my sign finding list. I do not know what his sign is yet.
Whatever it is, tell me. I'm staying far the F away from that.
What I felt, though, with when he went to approach Claire in this situation, he's sitting down, he's talking to her, and when Claire called him out, was like, "Do you have somebody back at home that thinks that they're your girlfriend?" He didn't even answer that whole thing very well.
Exactly. Sorry, I'm getting so excited. I'm getting so heated about it because I sat down there and I'm like, both of you are stupid. Stop.
That's why I said goodbye to both of them. Like, goodbye.
Right. But here's my, sorry to cut you off, but my thing is, Yosef is, to me, even if he did it, justified. And the reason why he's justified is they would have gotten the call in March that you're going on the show. Okay, fine. I'm excited. COVID-19 happens. Production shuts down. They don't even know if they're going to be filming or not, right? So if 6 months have passed, of course there's going to be a woman or two that comes into your DM that you may be interested in, you may be talking to. You don't know if the show is even going to happen, right? So I don't put it past him trying to get a little piece. It's 6 months. You understand what I'm saying? So he and Claire are not a thing yet. They have not even met yet.
Yeah.
I think it's perfectly fine that he's talking to someone or in some capacity. Because let's be real, she's been talking to someone in some capacity. So, you know, why are we all mad at Yosef and not her?
I'm definitely not mad at Yosef. This is kind of what I was saying to my mom. I was like, Mom, like, of course, like he's gonna talk to somebody. Like, he doesn't know if he even likes Claire. Like, he doesn't know if he's gonna get on the show. He might test positive for COVID. Like, he doesn't even know what's going on moving down the road. Like, why does everyone have to stop living their life because they heard that they might be on a TV show about love? So people will believe that they're there for the right reasons. At this point, like, I don't even care. That's another trope, is like the right reasons. Are you there for the right reasons? Well, I kind of don't care, because you even said it, that only one person's going to win most likely, or like get to the final two. So everybody else is like, they could be there for the right reasons, but like they're not going to win the show, so they might as well get something out of it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Especially if they don't think that they're interested in Claire. They're like, I want to stay on the show as long as possible. Maybe I'll fake a relationship with her. Fine. But if she's going to choose somebody, she's going to choose somebody. I might as well get my 15 minutes out of it.
Exactly.
Like, it's a show. It's a TV show.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like it's like a, you know, Big Brother where it's like, at least you can be going in and having game strategy and stuff like that. Like maybe then you fall in love and that sort of happens, but you're there for the right reason because you want to play the game and win. That's why I don't usually like when people are poached to play like reality game shows. Cause I'm like, I do want people to go there to play the game to win. But with Bachelorette and even Love Island, if you're there for the money or the fame, I don't really mind that much.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
I can. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I would mind if it was against someone like Justine, right? Like if it was like someone that you can tell is genuine and I think there for the process and actually to find love, because we saw how genuine she was, then I would mind if someone's there for the money and just trying to win with her, knowing that at the end, like they'll probably break her heart. That's when I mind. But otherwise, I don't care. Like Sully and Johnny, like you were saying, maybe, you know, she's playing the game and then she just takes the money in the end. Like she knows, I don't know. But you know what I mean? There's a difference. There's a fine line, but I mind it sometimes and then I don't. others.
Well, I find like your motive to do anything can be one thing, but what you get out of it is a whole nother thing. So I think it is perfectly normal for someone to be like, yo, I'm going in there, I'm gonna play her like a fiddle and then win this money, boom, boom, boom. But then you get there and then you find out she and you love tap dancing. And then that's such a random thing that it connects you. And then from that you find love and it's like, oh wait, whoa. Because to go on Love Island, I 100% believe Caleb went on Love Island to, extend his, exposure and that kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure most of them, if not all of them, went on the show for that kind of thing,
Yeah,
Love, you understand what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
And then I feel like Caleb legit found love and was like, whoa, I was not expecting that. You understand what I'm saying? So
Brazil is just beaming right now.
yeah, I mean, I had to make a whole video because everybody was like, oh no, he's this. I'm like, well, no, all of them went on the show for exposure. But you can find love in the weirdest places. So why not go on a reality show to win money and then, oh wow.
That's what I'm saying though. What I don't mind when people come on the shows with the intentions of winning money, but that's what I enjoy is the organic discovery of something that they weren't expecting that comes out of meeting someone that you would never meet with in your daily life. And so that's what I love about reality TV in general is putting these people that aren't expecting whatever to happen to them to happen, whether it's the bromances, the friendships that they make with the other, anything that happens connection-wise is what I'm here to see, because I know that when the producers are sliding into their DMs and was like, hey, you want to be on this reality dating show? You can win $100,000. I'm sure they're pushing the $100,000, not you might find love. I don't think that they're pushing that. So.
Well, we've gotten, for castings back in the day used to be about the people who really wanted to be on the show. But we've come to recruiting and to a hybrid of recruiting now with the social media, where people are like, the casting directors are going after people with large followings, with, so that they bring automatic eyes to their show. So a lot of the people on these shows now really have no care in the world for finding the love or becoming a top chef or whatever. They're just there for the exposure. So I think in J-Lub's case, where they were able to succeed is because the producers weren't focusing on them. They were focusing on Johnny and Sally, so they were overproducing that relationship that they got that organic chance. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm interested to see how it plays out on The Bachelorette, to see if they're allowed to have organic moments or if the producers are going to try and overproduce certain elements. I've never seen the show, so I'm just trying to see what their process is.
Do you know what other show would you guess has a better success rate than The Bachelor, Bachelorette?
I would have to be I would not know, but I'm gonna guess Big Brother because they seem to be something. Yeah, you see, again, because they don't focus on relationships on that show, so it allows them to become organic. Like they focus on gameplay, so the producers will overproduce the gameplay segments, but the relationships that come out of it, it's great. It's great.
That's what I love. Go ahead. You're going to say something?
No, I was just saying, like, I'm still watching the UK version of Love Island because some of my subscribers have been pushing it.
Which season are you watching?
I'm watching season 5 because everybody said you should watch season 5.
Season 5 is really good, but then I'm realizing they're all really good. I started rewatching 3 and I was like, oh my God, it's so great. But I think 2 is actually my second favorite of the UK. So 5, 2, 3, 4, or 1.
Got it.
I've only seen 1, so I guess I have to go watch 5.
No, 5 is great. How far are you into 5? Sorry, guys, just a little aside here. But
yeah, this is a little side note. I am at the point where, Anna just dumped Ovi, Amber and Michael. That whole recoupling was crazy. Oh, sorry. That whole recoupling was crazy. So that part.
So they've already come back from Casa More. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, and I loved Ovi and Anna. But anyways, it's good though. It's definitely a good season. You're probably enjoying it. And you probably can see why people were suggesting you watch that season, right? Yeah. It has a similar vibes. Was there anything else specifically that was interesting about this episode other than like the rose ceremony?
No, and that's it was kind of a boring episode. I'm not gonna lie.
I loved it. Sorry, I really liked it. But I think I'm just like I need content.
Until
I
the guys
love
came on, I was like, yawn, 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 yawn,
Well,
yawn.
okay, I agree with you. The first half was too much setup for me. Like, it was way too much setup. So with that person who made the comment that it's, you know, they focus too much on the COVID thing, you know, like they could have really just done an hour and a half or an hour, 10 minutes of show, you know, they didn't need to do 2 hours. I felt Chris kind of bothers me as a host. I'm sorry. I felt there were too many camera angles of him going, like
That's
too many of those listening shots. So I don't know if he's like a beloved character that everybody.
No, it's kind of love to hate him. It's like your dad, embarrassing
it's like,
dad.
It's like you literally have to love him because if you watch the show, probably 60% of it is Chris Harrison.
Well, right. I felt there were so many unnecessary moments where he comes in to just put a plate down and comes like I was like,
get ready for the rest of the season.
He will always say the most dramatic most dramatic season ever, most dramatic. There's
rose ceremony. He comes in and he's like, fellas,
final rose.
This is the final rose. And then he walks out, and then he comes back, fellas, I'm sorry, but your journey ends tonight. And then they all walk out like.
No, even in the teasers of the upcoming episodes where he says, "You broke the Bachelorette," I'm like, sir, calm down. Life will continue. Like, life will continue. But I can tell he's like making these like hyper dramatic statements, and it's like I feel like he's almost relishing the fact that she broke the Bachelorette. Like, I will be on entertainment tonight because of this moment that's happening here. You know, it's like, okay, sir, get it.
It's like a joke at this point because every season, and before he didn't used to really talk about, like, he didn't used to acknowledge the fact that everyone was making fun of him for it, but he would say every season, the most dramatic season in Bachelor Nation history. And then so now he says it as a joke because he does say it every single season. But
he's starting to make fun of himself. He's a caricature of himself. It's a little bit meta, like how he's kind of poking fun at him being the host of The Bachelorette. But like, I think he also, to a degree, takes himself really seriously at the same time. And so it's kind of like he's a little bit narcissistic, I'd say. You know, but it is his show for the most part. He's been there from day one.
I was saying, like, it's kind of like a Ryan Seacrest thing. He takes himself really seriously, but yet still plays off of it, you know, so. Okay.
Like, actually pretty much exactly the same type of guy. You know, being there from the beginning and then becoming a huge hit with it and then kind of moving through with the show. And so, yeah, he's kind of like that. You'll probably just not like him, you know what I mean? But like, he's going to be like that the whole time, and you just learn to accept him as being part of the show, you know?
He's an acquired taste.
Acquired taste for sure.
I sat down there last night and I was like, I don't know if I should tell people I don't like him.
You can be honest here. And poor Deja's being honest about Paige's poor suit. Looked like a prom suit with the ankles out and the unbuttoned white shirt. It's true. He didn't look great. I didn't feel. I mean, I didn't.
His haircut was the worst too, if we're gonna go that far.
He needed a. I mean, maybe they couldn't go and get somebody to help them with their looks, really? Like, the stylist couldn't bring that many clothes. Like, I don't know how it would have worked with them.
Well, I would think they would have had to bring their own stuff. She would have had a stylist, but I highly doubt for the men they would have brought.
It's true. Maybe later on.
My friend is currently filming for The Bachelor, so I'm gonna have to ask her all these questions when she gets off.
Oh,
I'm just gonna say it this way: it's a double standard in these things. Women, I think for The Bachelor, they probably do have a stylist for the women, but for the guys, they'll be like, just bring a suit to impress her when she comes. And
they definitely bring their own wardrobe. I was kind of more so thinking like having like a barber like on set to like help them with like their hair and you know, I don't know. I feel like he needed a little bit of help, but I don't think he got any. Poor guy. J. Job says, are you talking about, this is a while ago, but Jordan M., he was also not at the rose ceremony. So I believe that he was
at the rose ceremony.
I believe he was eliminated.
He was.
Yeah, he's eliminated. He was
there. He was at the rose ceremony.
I could see him.
I remember seeing him for sure, especially in the cuts
of like taller than the rest.
who wasn't getting picked. So if I'm not mistaken, the people that didn't get picked, so let me see if I can like pull them up so we can remember who these people are, because we might not remember them. Uno momento.
I probably only know 5 names, but
I looked, well, I just kind of looked at the names that were called, and then I kind of did a process of elimination that way. So Chris was eliminated, and I'm surprised because if we're looking at the Asian representation, I would have thought that he would have stayed over Dr. Joe personally, if only one of the two were to stay.
Dr. Joe, I mean, Joe was more animated.
The comment? There you go.
Yeah. Joe was more animated.
Fair.
So I think that he would have been a producer's choice. Like, no, we need him because he's more, you know.
And Homeboy gave, like, the cheesiest line of them all. Like, the textbook, like, I don't even know what he said, but I was like, oh my God, no, Chris, no.
What did he say?
I would have sent him home too if someone said that to me.
Wait, he said, take a deep breath.
That was Ben. That was Ben.
Well, he said deep breath and 139 days to that he's been waiting to meet her. Oh, he took a big sigh. Sorry, before he came out.
He took a deep breath, and she was like, "Whoa, that was a deep breath."
Yeah, he took a sigh.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
No, but Correct. He said some very cheesy, like, "You have it up like a sticker on your wall if you're a teenager" kind of quote, and I was like, "Oh no."
There's too much cheese in this for me.
So next we have Paige. I believe is gone. We talked about him a little bit. I guess the universe does not want us to see Paige because he's gone.
AJ's right there.
Okay, so AJ, yes. Let's go back to AJ.
He was reluctantly on my team.
You loved it. I'm just kidding. So AJ, I did learn that AJ was a Sagittarius. Claire's a Pisces, in case you were interested. She's on the cusp, though. She's a March 20th Pisces. Okay. So she might have a little bit of Aries fire influencing her a bit. But yeah, AJ was a Sag. We, obviously with that hand squeezing, we didn't think that he was going to make it very far.
No.
Unfortunately, no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Not in his cards at all. Who else is gone? Tyler
Jordan
C.
M. Tyler C.
Wow.
Tyler.
Jordan M. really had an imprint on your heart. Okay.
Let's just take our last look at Jordan M. Jordan M. Here we go.
Hilarious.
Jordan M.
So cute.
Give him your love. Do you have any last words that you want to say to him, Brazil?
I'll just go to Santa Monica and I'll just wait and see for someone unusually call and then run.
Not stalker-ish at all.
Not stalker-ish. I mean, he's a good age for you. He's 30. I think that could be a good match. Like, what, he was in like engineering, software engineering, or something?
You're gonna need to know these things,
cyber software technician or something.
Actually, we can actually just look here. Yeah, cybersecurity engineer. So he's gone. Tyler C. We'll take one last look at him. And where is he? See, I guess maybe they got rid of like their profile of the people that went home. Like, wow. Well, Tyler C., we know about him pretty much. Like we knew that he wasn't making it far. I did draft him on my team because I wanted to get some points. So I knew he was going to get like an argument point. And so him and Yosef are on my team because Chris did say in the preseason that, he has a secret about the guys or, so I was like, okay, well, I might well get some points with this guy and then get rid of him. So
a good secret. Like, that really wasn't a good secret at all.
It was bad. So
I thought he was like married or something, but rolling up in some girl's DM, come on.
Like, big deal.
That's a sport now.
Okay, so the next guy though, I thought would have done better. Hold on. Jeremy. So Jeremy's name wasn't called. I just wrote down the people that were missing. So Jeremy wasn't called. I thought he would do better, but he didn't really leave a lasting impression, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts about him, Sandhurst?
I don't remember him.
That's, I guess, the problem.
There you go.
I think he's a banker.
Okay.
Sure.
He didn't have a gimmick.
No, I think he said, like, thank you for showing up. Like, he repeated back what she had been setting up the whole season to be, is just showing up.
Right,
And then, like, three people said it back to her, but he was one of them. And that's all I remember.
Oh, I didn't write down his whole quote, but he said something like, I'm not here for me, I'm here for you, or something like that.
Oh, Lord. Oh, God. Oh, you all have no idea. Like, watching that part, that whole arrivals thing was so painful for me. Like, so painful. Because I'm like, is this, I mean, do they really think these lines are working? You know?
No, I mean, they must not. It wouldn't be the way to my heart, that's for sure. Another guy, well, we assumed that he wasn't going to do well. This guy, Mike.
Yeah.
We'd heard, I think Chris was asking them all like questions like, what are deal breakers within relationships? And he said something to the effect of like, if you're on a date with me, like, you better not be on your phone texting. And how he said it, me and Brazil were both like, eye roll.
Impatient. Yeah. We were like,
okay, I hope it's the delivery that got you all upset and not what he was saying, because
no.
It was because it came from him.
No. He said he doesn't like it when a girl doesn't text him back fast enough because he's impatient.
No.
Are we? Am I thinking
it was like the
guys?
bubble. It was like I think so. But like, I was like the guy with the texting, right? And you were like, yeah. So I think it was that he said that he doesn't like when a girl doesn't text him back right away because he's impatient. And I'm like, cut. Goodbye.
Well, but okay, the guy that I'm thinking of is when they did the separate from this episode when they're asking about the deal breakers. Anyways, I find it how he was saying it, if it was him or whomever it was, I thought it was him, was like if I'm into you, like, I'm not going to be on my phone for sure. Right, but it was kind of like that whole like, you need to be paying me all this attention. Like, it's kind of like, I was giving the example when a guy was like, I don't like a girl that has any drama, so no drama here. And you're just like, okay, well, if you're going to say no drama here, that means that you have drama following you around. You're probably not the greatest guy. That's usually how I read into that kind of situation.
I feel like that's a man who doesn't understand women. You know, because it's not that I'm saying that women have drama. It's just that I feel like he's a man who probably equates any kind of discussion to a dramatic moment. And it's kind of like you have to, when you talk to women, there's an animated element to it. There's a plot. You know, women don't speak like men. So whenever I hear men say like, yeah, she has too much drama, I'm like, I just feel like you don't understand you don't understand how she's talking to you. You don't understand her language. So,
and then I also feel that at the same time, like, they probably do things that allow the women to be dramatic. So it would be like talking to somebody else, or like not texting them back, or like whatever. You know, the stuff that usually has those little fights. Like, I'm sure he's not the most innocent in those situations. But anyways, didn't like him for whatever, whether it was that or not. I wasn't interested in him at all. And then we have Robby. So this is who I thought was the most surprising, because I thought he was cute. He's part of the Bachelor Nation. Where's Robby? So Nick, see, we can't see him either. Weird.
You know, it's funny about the Bachelor Nation. I've been asked twice to be on Bachelor in Paradise.
What?
Yes, twice.
And why'd you say no?
Because I don't like. For me, I don't want to go on a reality show to find love. I feel like I keep saying this, I feel like nobody's there for love. And I'm a Taurus, love is a big deal to us. So I would go on that show and be like, you know, you all are here playing games and I'm not a good actor, even though I'm out in the trying to become an actor. You know, like with matters of the heart, it's hard for me to just start pretending, you know? So I know a really like high person up in that whole thing, and he was like, you need to come on the show, because he saw me on tour group. He was like, you have to come on the show, and I was like, don't think I can do it.
I want you to go on the show, please.
No, I've never seen it, and I'm still just like, no, thank you.
Well,
he's like, whenever you're ready, let's go.
It's similar to Love Island, honestly.
And there's no
like
prize money at the end.
Love Island.
There's no prize money. So basically how Bachelor in Paradise works is people from the most recent seasons of Bachelor and Bachelorette, they go to find love on this island. They just go on dates and they live on Sayulita. So I visited Sayulita for a couple weeks, and like it's the cutest little island in Mexico, like in Puerto Vallarta. And I've been to all these places that they're at, and it's just so fun, and like it's like a nice little surf town. And so they basically just go and hang out and go on dates and hang out in a really amazing spot. So I would say, if like out of all of them looking for love, the possibility is there because you are just hanging out with people. There's no there's no activities you need to do. There's a rose ceremony obviously every couple of days, but other than that, like there's no prize money at the end. They want as many people to find partnership as possible. So
got it.
So it's similar in the sense that the boys have control 1 week and then the girls control the next week.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
We're gonna have to start a petition now. Let's get us change.org. So change your mind.
Because I when he asked me too, I was like, I've never been on The Bachelor. Like, how does that even work? He's like, nope, don't worry, we'll get you. I was like, okay, no.
I mean, I don't think you would have a problem at all, but
thank you. but
you would do very well in Bachelor Nation. I can guarantee it.
I think so.
As long as your pants meet your shoes, apparently.
Exactly. That's what Jeff Meso's saying over here. Let me get rid of this. Hold on. So she's to think that he was the tall drink of water. Not you. She's talking about your boy over there, Jordan. She just says, I think because she was looking for some on their social media before filming, she seemed like she's disinterested in some of them. So that's actually another thing. There was a bit of a drama that happened with Clare where, so this guy, Matt James, is friends with a previous Bachelorette contestant, another Tyler C.
Got it.
And so they're friends. They're always doing social media stuff together. They were in charities together, like definitely very active social media. And that he was announced to be part of Claire's season of The Bachelorette. And I don't know if he said like, hey, I'm going to be on The Bachelor, but he was doing things like announcing himself as like a star, a celebrity guest or whatever for, some sort of charity thing. And Clare comes out and was like, I don't want you on my season if you're not here for love, if you're not here for me, if you're just here for clout. Like she kind of reamed him out, like his intentions for being on the show. Spoiler alert, he ends up getting named to be the next Bachelor before the usual process happened.
Okay.
He's a very handsome Black man that is also obviously involved in charity, and his best friend was a Bachelor Nation success. And it's just very interesting that, like, pot calling the kettle black here, being like, hey, you shouldn't be doing all this for social media and all this clout, and you shouldn't be talking to anybody, and you should be here for me and all this. And then she's like kind of breaking the rules herself. And
okay, I understand where you're going with that, but I can also see from the standpoint of this. In Claire's mind, she is now the star. You understand what I'm saying? So she wouldn't want anybody else claiming to be the star, If you're going on your fourth or fifth Bachelor show, fame addiction is a thing, So I'm just saying, like, her going on that would say, like, hey, I'm ready. This is my moment to be in the spotlight by myself. And now I have this guy, basically profiting off of The Bachelor. He hasn't even started filming yet. What? So I can see from that point of like, no. There's only one head bitch here, and that's me. Nobody else. Get off my show, So I can understand that.
Only one HBSC. EJ!
Hi, EJ! How'd you miss this? I don't know.
This is the lady who contacted me.
Yes,
she's the one.
Teacher. She's definitely a big fan of yours and ours as well. And so she did bring us together. Yes, today we are here for you. We made it happen, and it's all because of you.
Thank you so much. Yes, you contacted me on one of my videos, and I was like, okay, I don't know how to contact them. And then I started, thank you. So yes.
Thank you, EJ. My favorite teacher.
Of hackers. Oh my goodness, that's frustrating. Okay, yeah, no problem. I'll catch you, Chantele, on my new Instagram. No problem. I know where to find me for sure. Finally, love seeing this sir here. Y'all, the commenters or commentators that the people need. They can speak. EJ also says, "What do you guys think of the couples of Love Island now that they're in public? Will Jelly and J-Lo blast? What do you guys think?" We'll do like a quick call.
Who wants to take this one?
You go ahead.
Okay. I think it's almost profitable for all of them to stay together as long as possible. So while they're popular, like even the Calvin and Moira, like they're going to stick together for probably, I'd say, at least a few months, because people only want to see them together right now. They don't care about them when they're broken up. And so that, especially for Johnny and Sally, I do feel like they have a connection of some sort, but I'm not sure if they're ready for the relationship that we are trying to give them.
Right.
Like 22 and 24-year-olds, we want them to be like confessing their undying love to each other and like, you know, shouting it on top of a mountain or the Grand Canyon. Like, you know, we're putting these big relationships on these young
little people. Yes.
So
yes.
I do think that they're smart enough to know that they are going to make more money, more profitable staying together. And so I think that they're all going to stay together for as long as possible. So maybe the Calvin and Moira's maybe 3 months or so, 2 or 3 months. And I think at least 6 to 8 months to a year for the Johnny and Sally's and the J-Lobs.
Well, technically Calvin and Moira are more compatible than all of them. So that one could actually surprise us and last longer than we think. Yep. I'm just saying.
Capricorn and Pisces, like that vibe.
Yeah, Capricorn and Pisces. Yeah, that's a good combination there.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's
I'm Pisces. I haven't really met any Capricorns that I love.
But you love Taurus, so they have similar vibes. I told Brazil that like you were like talking about Justine being like, "Hey, I'm a Taurus man here for you," and I was like, "Brazil, this could work."
All my exes happen to be Taurus. Yes.
Yeah, we're a very loyal but intense bunch. For J-Lab, you see, the thing about J-Lab is like, I know Caleb went on for one reason and ended up coming out with both, both the exposure as well as the love. I think it's going to be a challenge for them because like he's about his business right now. And I think she's kind of like figuring out how to make it about her business. I don't think she expected what she's getting right now, this fan base. So I think they're going to have to figure out how to manage the actual building of a strong relationship with the public consistently asking them for more and more and more. So they're going to have to work on that. Sally and Johnny, to me, are cut from the same cloth. They know it's about exposure. They know it's about money. And thus, they will be able to play that game longer than everybody else. But I will foresee that J-Lab will come to a point where it might be a bit overwhelming for her. And she may need to either step back from one or the other, either step back from the public or step back from the relationship. But I still think they are so well together, and I really hope it works out for them. Really, truly hope it works out for them. But I think Johnny and Sally are made for the business of this.
Exactly. And Sally is already a singer. She's good that way. And I don't know if Johnny's a good rapper, but like they might be able to figure out something together. You know what I mean?
Jingles.
Right?
Okay, that's fine.
Mary says, I really like Canadian Blake. He seemed very sweet and cuddly, like a teddy bear. Brazil, actually, I want to know what you think about Canadian Blake now, because you had him pretty much last next to AJ, and he was quite well received by Claire in this episode. Getting one of the only 2 kisses this night.
Mm-hmm. I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah, the first kiss, absolutely. Yeah. I did not think that I would like him as much as I did. He actually seems to be pretty genuine. I love that he had a dog. I love dogs, obviously. So already that intro of him bringing or at least driving with his dog, like made me really happy. And then you can just tell that he shows all of his expressions on his face, right? So when she's telling him like, you know, you broke the rules. He was like shitting his pants. He was so terrified. And then she's like, but I love that. And then he was like, oh, thank God. And he just like, so I love that you can kind of see how he's feeling on his face. I always like to see that in a person. I would at least like be able to read them. So I don't know. He was very likable, and he just seemed. I was pleasantly surprised, and I'm happy to have him on my team.
He's a Leo. Just if inquiring minds want to know, he's a Leo.
I actually felt like he at first I was a bit concerned because again I have this whole thing like he seems so into her and he doesn't know her, you know, but no, obviously he's reached out to her, so that tells me that they probably have had more conversations where he could have a legit my heart is fluttering moment. So it explains that. But when I first saw it, I was like, run, Claire, run, this man. Go away. But no, when I think about it, if he reached out to her with the mother situation as well, she probably was like crying to him, and you know, so they probably made a deeper connection than we think. So,
well, it's
like
kind of
someone doesn't care about the rules. Like he doesn't even care. He's here for me.
Yeah.
Well, and also though, like, you know, having those a deep conversation before the game started, it's going to allow him to connect with her more deeply, and even her vice versa. I think that if Dale wasn't in the picture, he would probably be a front runner in you know, the connection that they had, because they have talked about some personal stuff already. So I like him a lot more now, especially now that, and we were kind of making fun of him, and she's like, oh, the Canadian guy, I'm going to take the Canadian. Like, you know, we didn't think that he was going to do that well, but
I think
I'm
all the Canadians,
surprised.
I think.
You did. Well, is it Mike one of them, and is he gone?
Mike.
So you wouldn't be able to answer this, Sandhurst, but Brazil, and I think we have both the same one. Caitlin
Bristow,
She's absolutely a Canadian as well. She's on Dancing with the Stars. Canadian. If you watch that, Sandhurst. Do you?
No, I'm a professionally trained dancer. So when that show first came out, I was very upset. And then, you know, but it's a good show. I've seen some moments of it. It's a good show.
Well, that's the one thing with that particular show that people are always saying, like, oh, you know, she's trained in dance before, so she can't go on, shouldn't be able to go on that show and do well. And I'm like, that's the opposite. Like, I've never been trained in all the ballroom dances. Yes, I can do tap, ballet, jazz, whatever, that stuff. But like, I don't know all the holes and all the different foxtrot and all the different footwork and all the patterns and stuff like that. And so it would be something that I would be learning a lot, but I would just be able to make it look good a lot faster. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. And for me, I want to see some great throws and catches.
I love it.
I want to see that, you know. So when I've watched the little that I've watched, I'm like, okay, I get it. You're doing a basic box step here, and you know, a little pizzazz here. But I get so hypercritical that I'm like, look at her feet. No point there. You know, her hand position there.
This is a YouTube conversation.
It's so true though, because I'm like, oh, she's sickling her foot. Like, and I had to stop it. And I'm telling this to Brazil, and she's like, what's sickle? And so I sent her like the ballet sickle foot.
Where it's like shaped like a C, but I don't know people's
but it's just something that like I automatically like focus on. I'm like, I look at feet, I look at arms, and I look at head. You know what I mean? And like that's, you can't fool me.
Exactly. And then they're giving them 8s and 9s.
No, and I'm like,
no, don't do this to this person.
Okay, so if you won't go in Bachelor in Paradise, you should at least be a judge on Dancing with the Stars.
Ooh. Or a contestant. You could go on there and do really well.
I actually tried to, but because my show was on NBC, and that one's ABC, they don't really like to at the time back in those days they didn't like to share stars, right? But now I feel like you could be on any network and they'll be like, okay.
Seems like it. Okay, we have like a kind of ton of questions and comments, so we're gonna go fire speed. So Mary says, tell us you should have known by now that the snitch always goes home first. Keep your mouth shut and stay out of the drama. Yes.
Player, Mary. She knows.
Well, do you think though that the producers egged him on to maybe bring this up?
Yes, and he should have been smart to not do it. Producers will always try to get you to do dramatic things. It doesn't matter. Like, I know even on the Love Island girls are saying the producers egg them on to be like strippers, the Casa Amor people. You have the right to say, no, I do not want to do something. And especially if you are there to win the love or whatever, you have to think in your head, like, if I tell her this, you know, like, you have to think about that. No, if you're thinking, I want my moment to shine, and the producers are talking to you, whenever the producers are speaking to you, everyone always feels important. It doesn't matter what they're saying. It's so funny when you're on a reality show and like someone gets pulled aside by the producers, like, what are they talking about? What is it? You know, like, you feel they're more important, and you two feel more important because they're telling you something that they're not telling them. Producers are very secretive like that. They like to kind of make the other people hate you because of that kind of stuff. So
right,
I'm
or
sure
like seem like you're getting special treatment,
exactly,
or like
exactly.
they're gonna be the star, or like they know something I don't.
It's a psychological warfare kind of thing that goes on.
So you're saying producers would do really well in Big Brother?
Sorry?
You're saying producers would do really well in Big Brother.
Right. Well, exactly. It's a big mind play, you know. So I'm sure they pulled him aside and was like, yeah, you know, I think yeah, he should know. Or yeah, exactly. Something like that would have had been said, and he would have said, okay, they like me. I'm gonna be on the show. They're gonna feature me. I'm gonna get more airtime than everybody else.
And it's like,
hey,
as J-Job says right here, snitches get stitches. Bye, Felicia. Bye, Tyler C. He's out of here.
Exactly.
J-Job says, Sandman tells the unvarnished truth. So funny, you do, Sandman. Annie, hi, Annie. How are you? Hey. So, Annie says, I like Sandman. He is no nonsense. Bullshit, keep it moving. These guys can learn a lot from him. Being gossips never look good on a man. Well, it doesn't look good on anybody, really, but
exactly. It doesn't look good on anyone, but especially a man child. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Women already don't like us talking. So
Divine Me, hi. Hey, hello, my beautiful people. Divine Me, I think, is another person that loves you as well, if I'm not mistaken. She's like, I missed a lot, but I'm glad to see you together. Yes, it's happened. The union. And he says, I believe Sandman producers producers were focused on Jelly. I, for 1 second, don't believe Johnny doing Sally's nails was his idea. LOL.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Overproduced, yeah.
But I don't mind those moments.
I mean, it's beautiful, made for TV, but is it real?
They pulled it off. How's that? You know, they made it believable.
In the moment they did, until he went to Casa Amor, and everyone's like,
fuck, he's so stupid. I mean, we know his whole drama, how that went down, but like, I just really wish that he didn't allow, you know,
if he didn't allow that, like, that stardom, that fame thing to get to his head in that moment, $100,000 easy. Easily. $100,000.
And like, J-Lo wouldn't have ever become a big thing because we would have been focusing on this couple and involved in their relationship, and so they might have stayed together. Sorry, go ahead.
I still think J-Lo would have gotten some, you know, excitement to them, but we still would have believed in the Johnny and Sally narrative that it would have been closer, meaning the edit of Johnny and Sally would not have changed, you know, as drastically as it did, because it did change. Those producers said, okay, we're all in on J-Leb now because you just messed up everything we've been working on for the past, like, month. So, yeah, I think it would have been closer. But it's coulda, shoulda, woulda at this time.
Divine Me has some hearts for Dale. Do you find Dale good looking, either of you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's very attractive, but I think Jordan was cuter.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Okay, I'm going to say this. I feel like Dale represents a man. Like, he is the square jaw, and I think that's Claire's type. Claire's type seems to be like these men, you know, like, you know, the structure of their face, the build, the broad shoulders. I felt like the ones who got a reaction from her were those types of men, which to me is like Yosef. He's like a good-looking, kind of modelly, rugged, if you understand what I'm saying. Like, so I felt like she chose those guys. The guy who came out in the Rolls Royce, his face too has a box-like squareness to it. So I felt
his
for
jaw
her,
could cut a diamond.
Dale played right into that. Sorry?
His jaw could cut a diamond.
You see? You see?
I'm not into Bennett, Rolls Royce guys.
Exactly.
But
I feel like
but I do. Oh, you're frozen. You were frozen for a second. Anna does say though season 5 was the best UK one, but season 2 was the messiest. Season 2 is really messy, but it's very satisfying, I'd have to say. Annie says, was it just me? I was feeling bad for all the guys who were 26 and 27-year-olds. I was like, this is going to be a waste of time, LOL. Yeah.
No, because I mean, that's how everyone feels for like the 35, 36-year-old that comes on for the 22-year-old bachelor lead. So I don't think it's just you. Everyone feels bad for the one that's like the farthest apart age-wise. So.
And also though, like if we're being serious about it, they're gonna say yes to this opportunity, right?
Of course.
Like, hey, do you want to be on the Bachelorette? Yes.
She's 59. Okay. Yeah, I'll do it.
Sure. Like she's older. She probably won't be into me, but I'll just stay on the show as long as possible. Get some exposure. Get some Instagram followers.
Yeah.
I don't feel that bad for them.
Nope.
They have like a good 13 years until I start feeling sorry for them. No, I'm just kidding. Divine Me says to Anna, have you watched the UK reunion? Still a fan of the Bowens? Oh yes, that's have you. So haven't watched? Oh, you've only started watching season 5, correct? Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
They did just do a reunion show for season 1 and season 2. I haven't watched it yet, but like if you're a fan of the show, there's some really good couples that came out of those seasons. So
the one thing I noticed, they have a lot of actual famous people going on these shows. Meaning like they have a lot of like soccer players and real life almost celebrities who go on that show. And I found that very interesting, from that standpoint. Like UK reality shows are a much different breed than the American versions, and I feel like people in the US don't realize how famous those guys get versus the ones here where it's like a 15 minutes thing. Like, no, they're famous for life. Like they're
absolutely good, for Love Island for sure. Like they get around, we'll say between 1 and 3 million followers, we'll say on Instagram. Yeah. All the most successful ones, obviously. And I guess Caro from season 1, you probably haven't watched any of season 1, but she has about 450,000 followers. And so I'd say that she has the most so far out of the Love Island USA, and she's still 1 million followers away from most of them. You know what I mean? In the UK.
Exactly. Well, I mean, Caitlyn had 2 million followers, but what does she? Sorry, this probably is an off-air question. What does she do to get 2 million followers? Like, I was so confused. Okay,
no, Caitlyn, she has 1 million, unless she went to 2 million now. Wow.
I thought I saw 2 million by the time.
Oh my God, maybe. Yeah. I mean, I only looked when she was still in the house, but maybe she has more now. No, we were saying that we thought she bought followers, but then we were looking at her ratio, and it seemed as her ratio wasn't like she still had like 50,000 likes on her post. So, I mean, she does those underwear like modeling stuff.
She's an Instagram model.
Okay. All right.
Like that's. I mean, if what's her name? Summer Rae can have 20 million followers on Instagram. I guess anybody can really.
Don't
need to have a talent.
We're in the wrong business. We are in the wrong business.
I know. I wish when I was their age, like Instagram was around, I would have exploited that big time.
Okay. This is a misconception here. There's a market for you, madam. There's a market for you. Don't think you need to be their age. There are a lot of people who want to see you too, okay?
Okay, maybe. People are always like, you're too dusty, you're too old. Blaine's in the house. Hi, Blaine, how are you? Wait, challenge mania. Okay, no, I don't think anybody here watches the challenge enough to talk about the challenge. We only could do Love Island and the Bachelorette today, Blaine, but I will be doing the challenge with Michelle on Monday. We will announce a new season that we're going to cover. So Sharad, hi Sharad. Hey guys, I dropped into Ask Who Drafted the Guy Who Snitched last night. I did because I wanted
both
points.
The snitch and the snitchy. Or the
I got both of them. I wanted those points. And it also looks, if you looked at the preview for the next episode, as though Yosef was the guy that
Yelling.
calling her old.
Yes, yeah, I thought it was him too. I thought it was him too, and
I thought so
if
too.
it's him, it's a really bad look, especially because he has a daughter. I felt that was poor taste. If it was him, you know, so
first and foremost, because he has a daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I want to see what happens, but I just hope that he's just not too like gross, you know?
No.
EJ said, sorry for my spelling mistakes. I'm doing too much at once. Haha. I'm so excited about this collaboration. Please do more. Finally, the mature conversations we need. Absolutely. That's the one thing that people both have been saying about both of our channels is that like we kind of don't shy away from like the real conversations. Like I will talk like the first thing that I was saying to Brazil was about when in Love Island, how Justine wasn't being chosen. I'm like, well, the Black woman doesn't usually get chosen in these types of shows. And like, she was surprised, like she got it, but she was surprised that like, it was a thing that has never really been addressed before. You know what I mean? And so let's go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, like, that's how I found the show. Like, I was on Twitter and I saw her name trending. When I saw a picture of her, I was like, this is rare for a Black woman to be the draw of a show. So I came into Love Island, like, probably halfway down the season. So I had to start binge watching it to catch up. So I agree with you. Like, all my analysis stemmed from the fact of, wow, this is unprecedented. And you know, it needs to be discussed. And furthermore, I do agree with the assessment of your channel, because like I was looking at other people's reviews and they just simply say this happened, this happened, this happened. And I'm the type of person, I can make a 40-minute video talking about in-depth analysis on
I know, we're going long, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know. And I was looking at one of your episodes too, and you all were going in on topics, you know, and I was like, well, yeah, like people aren't, in my opinion, people aren't watching a YouTube channel to just simply have what happened on the show regurgitated to them because they watched the show. It's an opinion-based thing, you know, so I feel like we're about to hit 2 hours and I'm shocked that we've been talking
I know,
for 2
I looked,
hours.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was like, this
keeping
is
this
like
man from his life. I mean, we're gonna get to these questions, but we got through the episode, and that's kind of like how I like to structure it personally. Is like go through the episode, but then as topics come up out of it, discuss them, and like that's what I find really enjoyable, and I think that's what we both like about each other's channels. So I'm happy that you're enjoying yourself, even though we're going on the 2-hour mark. We're almost done. EJ says, go ahead.
I said, I have not eaten.
Oh. Okay, 10 minutes.
Chantele's about to go to bed and we both need to eat.
He just says, 2 contestants on these shows get paid more the longer that they stay. I think Clare is crazy. So we're assuming that the contestants will get a stipend of some sort, usually about $1,000 a week. I'm not sure if for the Bachelorette, if they get a lump sum for being there, but I heard for Love Island that each contestant got $13,000 to show up, and then they got an additional $1,000 per week that they stayed in the game. That's what I heard about Love Island. Do you hear anything different?
I said that as well, the 13,000. Well, okay. 13,000 used to be what they used to get paid for CBS shows back in the day. This was like 10 years ago. They used to get like 13,000 and then $1,000 every week every time they passed an elimination, right? So I'm assuming that there's a similar pay structure for Love Island, like those other CBS shows, because again, it's not like there's a prize of exposure to make money. They have to pay their rent and all of their bills while they're in the house. So I still think they get paid the longer they stay, or some kind of pay scale for Love Island. I'm almost 100% sure they do get paid something.
Yeah, the 13,000 thing, I think I heard from Reddit, but they probably just got it from you.
Yeah, I think they did. But I do have it on good account that's it, because when I used to interview the CBS reality stars, they all said the same thing. Like, yeah, we got that. And everybody was just trying to stay longer to get more and more money. So, yeah, 98% true, but allegedly. I'm going to throw it
might be a bit more now.
Right, exactly.
Just for the fact that, like, you know, inflation and
of course.
COVID and all this stuff. So it might have gone up a bit. And Clare, I think Clare is just really wants to find love. She was kind of, one thing that she said that I felt like it struck a chord with me when she said that she didn't want to be waking up alone anymore. And like, so I think that her craziness is just like she really wants this to work out for her, and she's put herself, she's been vulnerable, she's put her, you know, feelings on the line so many times, and it hasn't worked out. And so I think that that's kind of why she's acting maybe a little bit more extra, we'll say, than, you know, she might have in the past.
EJ, I am almost on your boat as well. I'm almost on your crazy boat too. But again, this is my introduction to the Bachelor Nation, so I'm trying to understand the lingo of my husband is in this room. I'm trying to understand why that is normal and why these men aren't running. But okay, you know, so I'm 1 foot in your boat.
Well, okay, TJ says that Claire's the kind of crazy that men fear. Ha 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 ha. She is, but she is on this show, and they all know who she is.
Right.
So she's not fooling anybody that she's going to be calm, cool, and collected. You know what I mean? Like, everybody knows that she's pretty much always like this. So, and from her exit on the first one, you know, that you could tell she had that line written down, like she had that moment written down and saw it playing out. So she pushes him away.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. when I saw it in their package, I was like, this woman stayed up all night and practiced if he chose her and if he didn't choose her. Like, that moment was 1, 2, 3, push. 5, 4, 5, 6, step back. 8, 9, 10, walk. And 1, 2, 3, turn back, say my line, and leave. I just watched it and I was like, okay, yes.
I don't know if she would be counting it out like a dancer though, but like, I feel you. 5, 6, 7, and push.
Yes.
He says, a little bit louder, Sandman. Yes, tell a girl, we women are fine wine with age, baby. There's a market for us. Yes, but I don't know if it's Instagram. I just don't know if it's Instagram. Like, even like, I love, for instance, TikTok. And so like, I'll put like, I do tarot readings and stuff like that. And I've been putting that type of stuff on. I do TikTok lip syncs. And so I've been doing that. And I like scrolling through TikTok with like, you know, what content that I'm interested in. But when I go and I look on the reels on Instagram, I'm like, it's just a little bit too polished for my liking. I want it to a little bit more raw, you know?
It's okay. You know what's so funny with you saying this? That is so your sign. Your element, you air signs. My sister, she's a Libra, and she's all about doing the lives and doing the raw stuff. And I'm like, I can't do lives. I need to edit it. I need it to look a certain way. And, you know, like when I was coming on this, like this is the first time I'm doing a live, whatever comes out of my mouth comes out. And I was like, okay, I was so worried about that part, you know. So hearing you say like I like it raw, and I'm like, yep, air sign. Yep.
I'm an Aquarius. I'm very Aquarius. Like, I love innovation. I love things like different, outside of the box. Like, that's all me.
I'm at the other end. I'm the last one to adopt it. I have a TikTok, but I've never used it. I'm like, no.
You're gonna start now. I'm going to force you to start. A couple more comments. So, Sandman, hopefully now you understand why I stayed here. I love the depth of the Reality Realness with 3 S's. Your analysis are also great today. We finally got the perfect match. Yes! Yes, Divine.
Thank you.
And he just says, I have to go. The baby's crying. However, will there be another collab? I would say yes, there would be another collab. How are you feeling?
I would definitely say there will be another one.
That's so fun. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about lastly with the Bachelorette, your feelings to wrap it up?
I was pleasantly surprised, and I am interested to see where this goes. Hopefully the season continues to provide some great moments, you know. So yeah, I mean, I had a great time talking with you in Brazil. I know she probably had to go, but it was so much fun talking with you all. So thank you very, very much for having me. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been a blast. Obviously, I've really enjoyed your videos and like even like talking. I love your analysis and like your perspective. And you know, I will always say yes to collaboration because I love talking. Obviously, air sign, and I love like talking about reality TV. It's really easy to talk about reality television because you can have a lot of opinions and a lot of people's life experience that can color your views of the same thing that you're watching on something that doesn't really mean that much. You know what I mean? But it can
Exactly.
mean a lot when you bring in some of the social constructs and all that stuff. But like just the base of it is just it's a silly little show. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed talking to you. Now, if people were looking for you online, maybe want to let them know what your YouTube channel is and maybe any of your social media handles.
Okay, well, you can find my YouTube channel. It's called Liming with Sandman. And for those of you who are asking what is liming, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. So when we say hanging out, we say liming. Okay, so you're hanging out with Sandman, you're liming with Sandman. LIMING with Sandman. And then my Twitter and my Instagram is Air Sandhurst. It's right there, Air Sandhurst. I travel a lot. I usually do a lot more travel content. This whole talking about reality shows on YouTube and social media is very new to me. I did not expect to have this, you know, support behind it. So it's something that I will continue to do in the future. But Air Sandhurst on Twitter and Instagram.
Amazing. And EJ stuck in a couple last comments. I'm all about this, people. This right here is gold. Y'all, the snowball effect is coming. Expect it. Yes, EJ, we expect it. Snowball. Have a good night. Love. XOXO. Thank you so much, EJ. We love and support you too.
Yeah, she's the one. She is definitely the one who brought us together.
So awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Reality Realness with 3 S's right down over there. Hit that like button if you like this content and leave us a comment if you want to hear more from us, another collab, an idea of something you want us to cover or talk about. We are definitely here for you guys. We love chatting with you guys, so let's make that happen. And of course, you want to ring that bell so that every time we have a live episode, you will be notified about it. So final thoughts as we sign up.
We're good. We're good.
We're good.
We've spoken for 2 hours. All the thoughts are out there.